it's Friday night. Thank fuck. I'm just quickly sharing this out. How is my boys? How are you?
All right.
Awesome. We have one in the chat. Can somebody say hello, please? So we know that you are definitely there and can hear us.
Let's have a look. See who it is.
It's Eric. Hey, Eric. Hey. So yeah, I'm just sharing out. Sharing. So tonight we are speaking about UK missing legends. I said Scotland, and then I thought I'm being a wee bit biased here. So I'll open the platform up to the UK. Who doesn't love a missing legend?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see,
so I'll let you boys kick it off.
Well, the thing with myths and legends is there's always some truth to it somewhere, isn't there? Whatever it may be.
I think more legend than myth. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to myth, it just ends up in film, doesn't it? And it proper then is myth. Legend, yeah, there's more truth in that, and it does end up in film again. I mean, I've got 3 in mind for tonight. I don't know. Evening. I don't know what else you've got planned. I don't know who you've got, what myths you've got planned. But
listen, I'm easy, Ozzy. Let's just generally just tear into missing legend. Hey, Rita.
Sure.
Well, I've got 3 obviously, and there's the obvious 3 for me: King Arthur, Robin Hood, and Nessie.
Nessie, oh yeah, Nessie was on top of my list.
Yeah, we'll kick off with that then, Ian, if you want. So go on, go for it.
Go for it, Nessie. Well, what can we say about Nessie? I mean, they've tried to prove or disprove Nessie so many times. In fact, they're up there now, aren't they, with some new equipment?
Yeah,
probably.
But a lot of these people that don't realise that the locks are interconnected and they go out to sea. So whatever Nessie is not likely to be in there all the time. So,
well, this is true, and there's actually there's a few species that, and we're learning more all the time, that can intermingle between sea and what they call tepid water. We only thought there was one species of shark, which is bull shark, but there isn't. There's actually 3 species now that they've found. There's a 6-gill, what they call a 6-gill. That's been known to exist almost entirely in tepid water. Not tepid, what's the word? Brackish. Brackish water. So what could it be? There's that many reports, as you said. There's thoughts of it being an eel. The problem with that is the eels don't. They've got the length and they can grow quite long, but they haven't got that width.
No.
That submerged logs, because it's been known back in the day, we used to float rafts of logs down Loch Ness, just like they do in Canada. That ceased to exist, and weirdly enough, the sightings of that type of creature have dropped accordingly. But a log can be submerged for anything from 20 to 100 years before the gas in it expands and it comes to the surface. But it floats in a weird way as well, because it's heavy. It's only just below surface. And if it's been rotting, then a lot of your normal features to a log will have disappeared. So there'll only be knots appearing to be like lumps. So there is something in that sightings of log being a person's imagination taking over? Is it into, and especially at certain times of day, dawn and dusk, which is when a lot of these sightings happen, by the way. There's not a lot of things mentioned about that, but the biggest amount of sightings is dawn and dusk, when your eyes can play tricks on you. But people are adamant, because of the stories and legends and myths, it's Nessie. And it's not. It's not. 9 times out of 10, it's not. It can be explained. So there's
Well,
not
look
just
at
that.
look at Steve Filton that gave up his life, gave up his job, gave up his whole life, sold his house, and went and lived in Loch Ness so that he could prove that Nessie exists.
He's not on his own. I think there's 2 more that's done exactly the same. Peter something, and another one that's filmed more than anybody.
Wayne says they are your channels leading from lock to lock and leading to the sea. Spell check, lol. Sarah Louise says there must be more than one Loch Ness monster for the species to see after all these years. Hey Tom, we've got no knack, but welcome to the show. Eric says there is a hunt to find Nessie right now in Scotland. There is.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to probably embarrass myself, but I'm very sceptical in the whole Nessie situation.
Yeah,
very sceptical.
It's Scottish, and you don't like it.
You had come racist against Scottish. Well, I might be, but
anything you like in Scotland's Iron Brew.
The only thing I really like in Scotland's myself.
I'm going to go on skeptical side on this one. To be fair, I do believe there is something, but I do believe that it's been misidentified because there's that many different things. I mean, another species that can grow to be gigantic, really, in perfect conditions, which Loch Ness is for this particular species, and that's sturgeon. Sturgeon can be huge, and they actually, to say they're a bony fish, they actually undulate, they swim like that. So that's a lot of sightings that have been wrongly. What's that?
You wouldn't, Sarah, because Lois would just call you English.
The snow is good. I do miss the snow. I don't get snow where I'm, Sarah Louise, so snow is good. I mean, if you feel strongly about something, right, you would go and do it, right? And I've got to say, fair play, these people that are giving up their lives to go and try and find an answer, fair play to them. I mean, really, fair play to that guy. Because personally, I wouldn't. I guess if you feel passionate about something, you would go and do it. I mean, I've got to say, I feel passionate about natural disasters.
That's because you are one.
You leave my chaos, my beautiful mess alone, you. Asexual, Wayne. There's 64 species of animals that are both sexes and can reproduce on their own. Could Nessie be such an animal? Yeah. Lake Champlain in America, supportive champ. But hi. Oh, hello, my darling. There's our Joanna. Hello. The thing that goes through my head with Nessie is, why have they never ever found remains?
So I mean, do we ever really, unless they're washed up, find remains of whales and things like that? No, they sink. Something of this kind would sink.
You've got to remember as well, all the locks have got like 1.5 meters of silt.
Yeah.
So
And not just that, Loch Ness, although it's not that wide, it's deeper than a lot of ocean. It is well deep.
well, Loch Lomond's
Could
really
be.
deep.
It could be, Sarah.
They don't actually know how deep Loch Lomond is, do they? So
Exactly. But anyway, when did let's look at logic. When did Nessie become really, really popular? Because there is well documented evidence, and if you look at it carefully, even though it's old film and this old photos, if you look carefully, you can tell exactly what
Hey, Angie.
iconic picture, even this iconic picture of Nessie actually is from 1921, I think it is. I'm not 100%.
like that,
Sarah Louise said when tea towels became popular.
Yeah.
That is so true.
As well. There's another name, and you should know this one, Lewis, for Nessie. Do you know what it is?
Lois, yeah.
Screw you. I would be lying if I said I knew.
It's a Scottish term. It's called Grindylow.
See, every day is a school day.
Yeah, the term for Loch Ness monster is Grindylow. In Ireland, there's a different one. What I can't remember what that one is.
Wayne says the first alleged sighting was by Alexander MacDonald in 1888.
Typical, it's a relative of mine, isn't it? Being our
well, I mean,
for years and years and years. But it became popular in 1921 when a man from, I can't remember what press it was either, but from a newspaper took a picture of the iconic, that shape.
Yeah.
And it turned out recently, well, when we talk recently, 80s, that it was an elephant trunk. Because at the time, there was a well-known circus, and the elephant trainer took his elephants to bathe in Loch Ness. And this newspaper bloke took a picture of this elephant's trunk. Now, looking at an elephant's trunk back in at that time, something like that popping out of water, wow, that'd be compelling. But we now know that elephants, when they're bathing, they're 90% submerged, and sometimes that's all you'll see is trunk.
Yeah.
So, but you wouldn't have known that back then. There were no wildlife documentaries.
Loads of pictures show what looks like branches.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we said. Sometimes it's logs and one thing or another. So there's that many different things that it could be. And in deep water, things behave different. There is different buoyancy to what they are in shallow water. So again, there's lots of natural things that a lot of these sightings could be, and they get misinterpreted. So,
well, what's your thoughts on the Green Man? There's another myth. The Green Man is a symbol of the new life and the new growth, which is typically associated with spring. References to the Green Man can be seen around the world. There's images of faces covered in foliage or carved in wood or stone in the medieval churches and cathedrals. To many, he's the keeper of forests and woods. I mean, the places that you can find them in Wales, and the stained glass windows in the Pennell Church.
It's Celtic in origin, isn't it? So it's that era. Again, it's an era. It's just like when we talk about burials and things like that. The way that people are buried, the way that people are cremated, it goes back to an era. All around the world, people were changing methods, changing ideas. And I think that's one of them. It was just part of a change in religion. And it's actually got woven in to Christianity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Well, he's actually found in North Yorkshire in the Bolton Abbey. You'll see him in a ceiling boss within the Abbey.
and funnily enough, in Hastings, we have a Jack of the Green festival here to celebrate him.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Oh, right. Wayne says the recent scientific study of the lock showed a large blip on the sonar, but they can't pinpoint it. Eric says the green man happens when someone needs something bad. Louise says suddenly thought of the sweet corn. So was I.
Jolly Green Giant, that is.
And Sprout Man.
The green man were in here the other day. I had a full bowl of stuffing. Oof.
Oh my god.
It was lovely. Up here. Better haggis.
Well,
It's better than haggis.
oh my god, I'm better than haggis. Oh.
So yeah. Has any on us as followers, as audience, got any questions or any suggestions? What about myths and legends that we're not maybe aware of? See what they come up with.
Yeah, the Green Man appears in lots of places, doesn't it? It's all around the world, really, the Green Man.
Exactly, but it's an era. It's a certain era, isn't it? It's
Eric loves
early weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wayne loved the legend of Mothman.
Oh yes, Mothman.
Yeah, I've covered that actually before on a couple of shows. But Mothman, in this country anyway, was born from an actual happening. Listening to the show the week where it was an actual the Eurasian owl that escaped, and because of its size, and locals had never seen a predator like it before, and by nature, with it being an owl, it was almost nocturnal. And this legend existed for roughly 7 years, which turned out to be the life cycle of this Eurasian owl. So it's not happened since.
They had a recent sighting of Mothman, didn't they, in America, which was quite funny. My friend Greg Lawson had just released a book on Mothman, and I said, "You trying to promote it?"
Probably. But in this country, born out in fact, that one actually turned out to be fact. But it was an escapee owl, and set a Mothman
Eric
legend.
said it sounds like somebody's having a battle in the background. Oh, there's my darling. Hiya, Claire.
I apologise, Eric. That's outside my house. Somebody's just decided to have a firework display for some unknown reason. It sounds like I'm back in 1066.
Wayne says over here it was called Owl Man. 2 girls in Cornwall had seen it at the top of a hutch tower.
Yeah, you're correct, Wayne. Yeah.
The other one that I was thinking is Lady Devere. The lady is best known for bearing Oshy Road naked on horseback with just her long hair to cover herself. The story goes that she did so in protest of the high taxes her husband enforced amongst the residents of Coventry. Though Lady Govia is a, hysteric figure, there is little evidence other than monks' tales dating back to the 11th century to prove a legendary horseback ride actually happened. Yet the folk tale still survives to this day of this strong and brave woman. And you can actually visit her statue. She has a statue in the city centre. Sir William Reed Dick was the creator, and it's been there since 1949.
Yeah.
Lois, would you riding around? how did you know it was my statue?
In reality, I think it's that legend was born from Queen Boadicea, whichever way you want to pronounce it. She was reputedly to do that act on bareback horse when she was attacking the Romans. And obviously, like Robin Hood, you've got a load of different stories that came from it. I believe that originally was the case. But yeah, who was Godiva? Was there actually an account of Lady Godiva?
When it says the life of Cressida as an amazing legend, she came here.
Yeah.
She came here. You leave me alone because I'm dyslexic. We don't really elaborate here. Not much.
Didn't like that one though, Lewis, because she was a redhead.
Yeah.
That's why probably people think it's me. Angie says, why do they say there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbows? Do you know, I've often wondered myself.
That's to do with leprechauns, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where they keep their riches. That's why you'll never find it, because once you get to the end of the rainbow, it's disappeared.
Do you know, see, as a kid, my gran used to say to me about at the end of the rainbow there would be this pot of gold. And see, as a child, I always tried to find it. Always. But I never ever found it.
No, as Granny's
You'll
always...
never find the end of a rainbow, because the time you get there, it's gone.
That's the thing. I love a good myth and legend. Another one's Sonny Bean.
Right.
Good funny films, those Leprechaun or
yeah.
Halloween.
I thought was it One Wedding and Lots of Funerals was a good one. The Leprechaun films. That was quite funny.
But I mean, there is a load of good places to visit with all these myths and legends, definitely.
And I think, to be fair, that's a good point, because I think, to be fair, that a lot of these things are born out of tourism and revenue. I really do. Especially when you look at my next two, which is King Arthur and Robin Hood. How much revenue have they sort of... Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? And we still don't know whether they were actual. Now with King Arthur, there's very little actual evidence, but with Robin Hood, there's a lot of actual evidence. The people involved, the characters that they're portraying it, they were all real people, but there's no accounts of their lives apart from they existed. You know, so somebody cobbled them together, and made a story.
But think about it, it's like Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
That's what myths and legends are, because it's basically every little town. It doesn't matter whether it's Hastings, Yorkshire, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. Doesn't matter where. Every little town has their myths and legends. There's not one place that doesn't. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Irene. Wayne says most myths and legends are born from some form of truth.
Yeah. A little bit. There's a little bit in it. Like I said, if we look at that one, if we look at Robin Hood, the characters that are involved. You've got Robin of Locksley. Locksley is an actual place. It's about 20 minutes from me. And there was a Lord of Locksley. And his name actually was, Robin of Locksley. Little John, he came from Hathersage, which is another actual place. There is an actual grave. Unlike all the other characters, there's an actual grave to Little John in Hathersage. There's even a place called Little John's Feet, which is on the moors.
Definitely, Louise.
What they call it, Friar Tuck, is from Bawtry. And there's a monastery in Bawtry, or they were. There's just ruins now, but there was a monastery. Will Scarlet came from Luton. There's the main characters are all actual people. So there's a story around it, obviously. And if you look at actual facts of Sherwood Forest, in its truest form, in that era, it stretched from the far side of Nottingham all the way to Pontefract. So you could ride through the forest without ever coming out of it. So a lot of these things are actual fact, like Wayne was saying. How much of the stories in these films is true? Probably nothing.
Do you know what I'm reading just now? That's really actually quite interesting. Wait now, I'll show you. I'm reading this just now, the Element Encyclopedia of Ghosts and Hauntings, and it's actually really, really interesting. And that's why I came up with a subject tonight while I was sitting reading it. I said, one of the things I used to love doing, honestly, was reading myths and legends. I found it really, really interesting.
So what out of that book is there that we might know about?
2 seconds and I'll tell you. There was one that actually caught my eye here. While I'm doing that, you can talk.
No, like I said,
about King Arthur as well. I watched a documentary not so long ago about that, and it's quite interesting because all these years I've been looking for Camelot. They don't think it was a castle at all. It was actually the description of where he lived. Which Gaelic Camelot means winding marsh.
Yeah, which is why there is apparently 3 different locations that would fit the bill.
Dunard Fortress.
Go on.
Dunard Fortress is one of them.
Yeah.
They reckon the sword from the stone was an old Scottish technical term that when they knighted you or whatever, you took a sword from a stone that they placed there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually pulled out the stone; it was placed on it.
Well, exactly, but that wouldn't have made a good story, would it?
No, it wouldn't have done.
A good film, you know what I mean? So yeah, like when we're saying again, a little bit snippets, Chinese whispers, like Lewis said, little bits, and then you put a story to it. Arthur. Well, the latest story to that. Go on, we'll have a listen.
There was a claim at the bandstand to the rear of Chester's castle was built over the Round Table.
Well, that wouldn't fit if they're now claiming that Arthur actually settled in Scotland. So that's what they're thinking now. And there's been a lot of talk that Guinevere was actually Scottish.
And then there's the other bit that says, well, the first account was Carnarvon in Wales.
Yeah.
Because that still today is, well, the town. It's the town of Carnarvon. And you drive around it, you hardly notice that it's a settlement or a castle. It's huge. And I mean huge. And it's on cliff top, which fits the bill with his throwing sword. Because originally they called the Lady of the Lake, and this sword got thrown into a lake. And then in the second account, no, it was thrown off a cliff top into sea. So there's that many changes and twists and turns. And this is why the locations keep changing.
It got sold with the table at a boot sale. It'll turn up on Roadshow one day.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Well, what's your thoughts about the Black Dog legend? Because that was in the book that I'm reading now. The legend of the Black Dog, which is a common myth in Britain. It's been told in 10 different parts of Britain. It's known by a lot of names. You've got the Black Shuck, Hairy Jack, Padfoot, Churchyard Beast, and Bogey Beast. The black dog was a largely ghostly dog with glowing red or yellow eyes. It's thought to be a hellhound, and it's linked to the devil, apparently. They were thought to appear at crossroads barrows, which were ancient burial sites, or ancient pathways. The Black Shuck is a East Anglian legend that tells of a black dog that lurks in the darkest forests and graveyards and crossroads. This one's been described as red eyes, glowing red eyes, and it's the size of a calf. It appears during thunderstorms. In 1577, it was blamed for striking 2 churches and leaving scorched claw marks on one of the church doors.
Yeah, weren't these been woven into the film Hound of the Baskervilles?
Oh, and yeah, they used them in Ghostbusters as well, didn't they? The 2 dogs.
Yeah. But I think Hound of the Baskervilles were the latest one that it's appeared in.
Apparently, Black Shuck, its name here in East Anglia, we think we say it in Woodland in Dutch, which
Yeah, it's got a few names, quite a few names. I believe, well, in Yorkshire, I mean, you've got what moor have you got? What's the most important, the most notorious moor in country? And that's on my doorstep. And that's Saddleworth. And it's supposed to.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Rob. It's supposed to roam across Saddleworth, and then the other one is Dartmoor, obviously.
Eric, Viv said there's actually claw marks somewhere. You can see that the black chuck has left behind.
Yeah. But that's it. That the same applies of the black cats that supposed to roam moors.
Yeah.
So there's different accounts. If your anatomy is not good, then you'll say that something looks like a dog. Again, this is mistaken identity, I think. A lot of people say, well, it were a big dog, a big black dog. And then you'll get somebody else that says, no, it were a black cat, a big black cat.
Well,
so it's the same feature again.
If the people are saying that they've seen this thing with yellow eyes, it's more than likely to be a cat.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in Scotland, there's been a few sightings. I mean, in Ayrshire alone, there's been like reports, seeing a black puma, and around Ayrshire, and I just think to myself, I think they wouldn't survive.
Oh, they would.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, you'd be very surprised.
There's Black Panthers wild in the UK. I want to adopt them, Wayne. Viv. It's because I looked at Eric's comment and I just seen Viv. Sorry, Wayne. Please forgive me. I'm not calling you a woman. Really, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, we do. Well, you've got a species of big cat that's existed since Ice Age. We've got lynx. We've got lynx in Scotland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mum as a kid used to have a Scottish wildcat as a pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
Unfortunately, they're that's a dying species as well, dying breed, because local house cats are breeding with them, so it's diluting the population.
Some were kept as pets until the law changed. They could have been released to save having to put them down.
Yeah.
Do you know what on was it Dartford Moor? They reckon that's a crossbreed, don't they?
Yeah,
a cross between a jaguar or a panther and a lion.
Well, puma, yeah, mountain lion, puma. That's the latest. So, I mean, look at jaguars, for example, and panthers. Black panthers are actually leopards, but you can't see spots. So, the species can interbreed. There's loads and loads of different types of cats. So, of course, they're adaptable. I mean, look at snow leopards. Christ,
Yeah.
they exist
Mm.
way above anything else in mountains
Yeah.
full of snow. So, yeah, of course they can adapt.
Robert said, I saw a black cat. It was not a cat. I was going up the motorway to Aberdeen about 5 in the morning. Saw this thing go up the hill. There wasn't a cat. But look at the beast of Bodden Moor. The local
Yeah.
Cornish legend, a large black cat the size of a puma, living
Yeah.
on a lonely moor. Sightings began in the 1970s, and it was thought that the beast was a wild cat that had escaped from a private zoo. Many big
Yeah.
cat sightings have now been reported all around the UK, but none of them's ever been caught. Hi, Anaki! Welcome to the show.
Evening.
Loving life to you, my darling. But
But cats are adept at surviving. So, like the one on, on the moors, it's been eating sheep, wild stock.
Yeah.
You know,
While there's a food
that's how
source,
it's surviving.
exactly. While ever there's a food source, they're going to do. There's lots of species, for example, that they've been classified as extinct.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
lo and behold, they found some more. What is it? Tasmanian tiger? They reckon that there's still odd one or
Yeah.
two of them roaming about
Yeah.
now because they've found evidence,
Yeah, they've actually caught them on camera, haven't they?
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Do you know when you talk about Tasmania, I think of the cartoon character. I used to watch that as a wee.
Yeah.
What, Tasmanian Devil?
Oh God, I loved that programme when I was a wee.
Yeah, the real one's not as crazy as that.
No.
Robert says it all began when this dangerous act came into place.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this is another one that I've mentioned before. I was working with Sure Start once, and obviously you've got to do walks, so we had to walk assess this route round a reservoir, Thruscore Reservoir. It was a very, very eerie place. There were lamb pelts all over and lamb tails all over. Bit of a drizzly day, and we walked this route, and we needed to stop and have some food. So you need shelter when you're doing that sort of thing. And there was a half-covered derelict shed. So we all stepped inside, and in this derelict shed there were a post, a tether post at wall, with a ring on it and a chain. And it led into the corner, and there was this massive, what looked like a massive nest. It's the only way I can describe it. On the floor, round two walls, so it were in the corner and round two walls, made into like a nest of pelt. And I thought, that's where, and there was a distinct urine smell, like somebody had marked its territory. So when I got back, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I approached a newspaper and told this story. And somebody rang me back and said, they were asking me questions about it. And I told them all what had happened and how we found it and everything else. And they said, well, where were this? Because we're interested. And I told them, they said, oh, there's no we can do. It's not local to our, our reach for newspaper. Get in touch with another one that's local. So I didn't bother, and I wish I had now, because a few months later, there were sightings, big cat sightings. So I came up with the idea, like it has just been mentioned, that somebody had this big cat and thought, can't bear to let it go. And they've tethered it in this building, and they've been luring it off to feed, and then tethering it on a night, whatever. That I'd be interested to try and follow that one up. It's a few years ago now, so.
Robert says, look at the 60s in London, all the famous people that had baby lions.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I find it wrong, because I think cats should, like tigers, lions and that, should be out in the open where they're used to. Don't get me wrong, I would love nothing more, and it's on my to-do list. I would love nothing more just for one day to hand rear a tiger, because I absolutely adore tigers. Any day with tigers, put them on my
Yeah,
timeline. Better not do that, because everybody was filling my timeline last time with tigers.
yeah, it's all about genetics again, though, isn't it? I mean, where that genetics started. You can get house cats that'll sit at house all their life. They're happy to do that. And then there's
Yeah.
others, they'll fight to get out. They can't stand
Yeah.
it. And studies have been done that even domestic cats have got a range, and they will travel for miles on a night when they're let out.
Yeah.
Miles down the route.
I
They're all
keep my food
intelligent,
in the house.
but if you look at tigers, the solitary cat. If you look at lions, they are what's the word? They gang together. They like company. So I can quite understand where you can easy feed a lion. They can be domesticated very easily. Try and domesticate a tiger and you can't, because of
Wayne
the
says my granddad would never take us to the zoo to see such animals. He always said, one day I'll take you to their natural environment to see them. I think that would be better. See somewhere like Kenya, going to somewhere like Kenya where they're actually out in the open. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I watch these videos on YouTube and it breaks my heart when I see tigers or any sort of animals being mistreated. Any sort of animals. And it does, it makes me angry.
Yeah, it's not a case of mistreating. It's a case of the nature of the animal. Some animals lend themselves really easily to captivity, and they're brilliant. Meerkats in
Oh,
nature,
me meerkats. They're gorgeous
in
behind.
nature, they're worried all over. But in actual fact, it's only through necessity. They only need a small enclosure if they're given food, and they'll just live in that family unit quite happy. Can't do that with a tiger or a leopard. They need a big
No.
range, and they go mental if you try to put them in a small area. It's all about nature.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What about the wailing banshee? The banshee was a female spirit in Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, she could appear in many different forms. An old woman with long grey hair wearing a black dress and a veil. She came back as a young woman with silver hair wearing a glowing silver dress. Then you had a deathly pale woman with long red hair. Ian, it wasn't me. A veil and wearing a white dress. Can't imagine
Again,
me wearing a white dress.
Nah.
the Banshee was
The Banshee.
original.
Wayne says that's my ex.
One witch, one area, and it's gone to become, because it was such a good story. It's
Yes, guys.
evolved, and there's loads of banshees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not how it originally started. Like Frankenstein. How many monsters is there out in the world? It was one person to start with.
Well, the Banshee, I mean, you don't ever want to see the Banshee, do you? Because if you actually see her, that means you're going to die.
Well, yeah.
Well, apparently banshees weren't malicious spirits and didn't cause death.
Well, I don't think they actually caused it, but if you saw one, you're going to die. If you hear them,
I was going to say there's most again. See everything with red hair. It doesn't involve me. But definitely, I mean, you've got the giant. No, we're talking about missing legends, right? What about a natural phenomena like the giant causeway?
Yeah. Volcanic, isn't it? But
on the Northern Ireland, it's a 40,000 rock columns. As a result of an ancient volcano eruption. However, there's a famous legend that was told about the creation of the causeway. An Irish giant fought a battle with a Scottish giant. Why does Scotland be involved in everything? One day, the Irish giant was challenged to fight by the Scottish and agreed, and used great chunks of the land to build a bridge to Scotland. And this is how the Green Causeway was actually formed. However, the Irish giant discovered that the Scottish one was a much bigger giant than he was, and he ran back to Ireland and was disguised as a baby by his wife. She tricked the Scottish person into thinking that if the baby was that big, then the father must be huge. Guess what? The frightened one shat himself so much that he ran back to Scotland and tore up as much of the causeway as he could.
Yeah. It was, again, it's fantastic, isn't it, when you think of these stories that are born from it. And the actual fact is, they are connected, because we were all connected. I mean, look at how many mammoths, and what's the other one? There's another big. We never mentioned that. There's another one, like a mammoth, a woolly mammoth, but there's another one that looks very similar.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, nobody ever mentions them, but they were just as common at the time as what mammoths were.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're found everywhere, aren't they? They're finding a lot of them.
Yeah.
In, where they got ice caps that are defrosting, they're finding very well preserved mammoths
in the Channel.
Yeah,
that's where in the world. That's where they're finding. Well,
Robert
remains.
Robert asking, did giants inhabit our Earth? Apparently so, with the giant causeway.
They're finding evidence that giants have existed. The last remaining so-called giant of a, like 15, 20 foot is as young as 17th century. They found a burial apparently from 17th century.
I mean, look at the human race. I mean, over the years, if you look back to houses that were built in the 17 and 1600s, the doorways were short. So at some point, humans were shorter. So over time, we've probably, depending on it's like nature adapting to the situation, isn't it? If you're smaller, you don't eat as much. So if there's a food
shortage, but I think we balanced out really. There was a big difference, weren't there? There were short people and tall people, and we more or less the shorter have got taller and the taller have got shorter. So we've balanced out.
I would love to be shorter than what I am, but I always say I'm 5'11", but I'm actually 5'8".
So you could be an ankle biter, you mean?
Oh, I'd bite your fucking ankles.
Yeah, we'd call you a bloody Jack Russell then, wouldn't we?
What all are you in?
As long as you don't call me a chihuahua, that's fine. I've not got the boy. I've definitely not got a body a fucking chihuahua. I would say I've got maybe a body a hippo.
We could just stick you in a handbag and zip it up.
What all are you in?
Well, Ian, if you want to put me in your handbag, carry on.
Ian, how tall are you?
How tall am I? 5'6".
Oh my God, I'm just that taller than you. We could go as Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster.
We're all about them then. I'm 5'8". And that's the height of the stars. Did you know that? 5'8". Mel Gibson 5'8". What they call him? Stallone was 5'8". Arnie's 5'8". Russell's 5'8".
Most common height, isn't it, for actors?
Yeah. And apparently that's something to do with the filming method back in the day. They used to film everything off a trolley, moving trolley, like little railway. And the camera was angled at such a height that it was perfect for people at 5'8". Don't know whether that's true. Maybe a myth or a legend.
Well, look at the Scottish werewolf. There's a Scottish werewolf. Apparently, they
Yeah.
have wolf heads and human bodies. They were completely covered with.
And red fur, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to take you the skins.
There's a film. There's a film that were based on it. It was set in Scotland as well. What they call it? Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers, yeah.
Eric says I was 5'11" and I was 5'11", found out the other day I shrunk 2 inches. Well, unlike werewolves though, these were kind and helpful creatures apparently, who like to live alone. Most of these creatures were common in the Shetland Islands. These stories about them living in caves by the sea, catching fish, and sometimes leaving fish on windowsills for poor families.
Yeah, well, it's again similar. If you look at Dog Soldiers, that's a similar story. They were farmers, and they wanted to be left alone. I mean, they were only werewolves at full moon, which I think we're coming fast approaching a full moon. If it's not tonight, it's tomorrow. I think it's a full moon. So
it's pretty close to full moon tonight. It's not far off, so you're probably right tomorrow.
Well, I know what I'll be doing tonight. I'll be leaving here, going into the forest and howling like the wolves.
Yeah. And then you'll be told to take your meds and shut up. Yeah.
You leave my medication at this, you cheeky bastard. Robert says Scotland has a lot of remote forests. That is very true. October the 23rd, a guy in Oregon went missing after seeing alleged giant doorway closing. I need to check that one out, Wayne, definitely. Here's everybody's favourite, unicorns. I mean, Scotland's one of the few countries to have mythical animals.
It could just be a prehistoric horse, couldn't it?
Yes, and that's a good point, that Ian, because again, they have found skeletal remains of small pony-sized horses with a horn, just like a rhino. So again, maybe based in truth, but they're extinct.
Oh my God, Wayne! Wayne says they're real. I have unicorn poo in my bathroom.
Yeah, that's just what you tell the wife, Wayne.
Robert says we've got a lot of fairies. Cliff said I offered him a jet neighbour a lift the other day and he told me to F off. I zipped up my backpack and carried on. Cliff! Yes, a horse that has a horn. But unicorns were seen as wild and untamable creatures. So the Scottish unicorn symbolised the country's will to remain unconquered. When James I think that's fifth, became the King of England and Scotland, he created a new coat of arms featuring the Scottish unicorn and the English lion to represent the two countries uniting.
Yeah.
Which England wouldn't have been happy about.
Yeah, obviously, if unicorns are about, you can guarantee they're hiding in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. I would go into the Welsh ones, but I can't pronounce half the words, so I'm not going to even conquer that one.
You can't pronounce half the English words.
Fuck you.
That's why the Romans created the names Johnson and Smith and everything else, because they couldn't pronounce the Welsh names.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah, know what I need? I need Sarah Louise to sit me down and pronounce all the Welsh words.
Yes, go.
Oh. So, if MD is watching tonight, it's from Wales. I know Sarah Louise is. Please don't be offended. It's just I can't say them.
Have a try though. Let's have a laugh.
Oh my God! Right, okay, right. We'll go for it. Right, I'll reverse and I'll go for it.
Well, if you want to do Welsh ones on another show, I'll try and get Claire Barrand on.
Yeah, if you can, that would be great. Oh, Sarah Louise, I thought you were Welsh. Sarah Louise says I can't speak Welsh. Robert says that's like Scotland. The only person that is allowed to fly the Lion Rampant flag in Scotland is the King and the late Queen.
Yeah. Don't know.
I am. Oh, she is. Well, I am. Just speak it. Ah, right. Okay. Let's say the Louise. I get you, honey. Is Scotland in Scotland? Is there a place called Padlock?
Yeah, that's where we keep. That's where we keep our money.
Aye, that's it. Oh, Sarah Louise, right. Aye, I get you now, honey. I get you now. Right, we'll go for it. Apparently, there's a strange-looking mythical creature. That if this is going to be fucking hilarious.
Come on,
AFAC was a lake monster that could appear as a crocodile, a giant beaver, or an ugly goblin-like creature. Ian, I didn't realise you appeared in Wales.
What, as a crocodile? Yeah.
See, that's the
sometimes it's just up you as a goblin.
Hi, Terry!
Yes, I have been to Wales. Yeah, it could have been me.
It could have been the beer.
Yeah,
well, but it's been a good show tonight. Next week, guys, we have Chrissy Walker from Enter Unknown Paranormal. She's dead good. I love Chrissy. Thursday show, we will be doing part 2 of Hurricane Mitch. Hey Jazz. But do you guys know any other myths and legends? What's your favourite one, if you had to pick one?
Me.
Yeah, I'm a legend, but there you go.
I'm a legend. I'm Spartacus.
Oh, wow. I would say you're a legend.
Good.
And you're a legend.
You're a fanny.
Aye. I'm proud of it.
Terrible, Mr. Barrow.
I didn't research any more than them three. I thought between us, we surely got to have a few.
Terry makes a good point. An expert in the paranormal is a myth. I couldn't agree more. I actually couldn't agree more. Jazz is asking how our nights are. Yeah, it's good. I'm having a quiet one, just doing the show. You're going to have a beer. So Bry's going to have a beer. Ian's going to pick up the wife, and I'm just chilling like the boss.
Yeah, thinking you're the boss. Yeah.
Cliff says Georgia Green, the Mad Mary picture of Wakefield.
Yeah, that's at Lucy's Bridge.
These are some pair. So guys, we finish up on the 22nd. After the 22nd, December, we'll not be back to the 5th of January. I'm going to do a show in between. I haven't quite decided. I think it'll end up being a Friday night, but I'm going to do the 2004 tsunami. So it might be Friday night, more than likely. I'm more positive it probably will be. So look out for that, guys. Plus, it's a check-in to see how everybody's had a good Christmas and if everybody's okay.
I'll send some pictures.
Yeah, and not like the one you sent me earlier, Lois. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to see them.
I'm saying nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Cliff says near Pinterfield Hospital, Bri.
Yeah, I know it. I know it well.
But definitely, poor Ian, he's emotionally scarred.
Mate,
No.
yeah, definitely. I've seen some horrors in my life, but that just topped them all.
It wasn't that bad. Terry says my daughter was in court and on Go PP. Oh, some man, Terry, some man. Actually, Terry, we'll need to get you on the show one night. It'll be a laugh. Definitely. But it's been a good show. It has been a really good show. It's went dead quick. I found that the two shows have went dead quick. That like me and Wayne did a show last night, and the show went so quick. We were like, "Holy shit!" at the time.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I popped on, but I got called away, so I couldn't actually sail.
Okay, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it shows you how quick we can actually go.
Yeah. But yeah,
oh, she was in. Oh, right. I get what Terry's saying. His daughter was there. She was in Thailand. I mean, the 2004 tsunami is quite a hard-hitting one, and I'm fascinated by natural disasters. And I suppose Nick's gave me that inspiration when it comes to such anniversaries, you know, doing something for it. So I thought in between, obviously Christmas and New Year, I'll do it. I'll go for it. It'll not be as good as Nick's though, because Nick does all these slides. I can't do the slides worth a shit.
Yeah, I don't need that. No. So you've got a favourite song then? Beautiful Disaster.
They're like a beautiful monster.
I keep sliding down. Before long, I'll be down here like this.
You've had one too many.
Not enough yet. That's what it is.
He's had one too less.
So, what's everyone's plans for the weekend? Who's out investigating?
I shall be out. I did.
This is quiet season for me, so I won't be. We go quiet now till about the end of January. So
we
actually got the news that our last case was completely successful. No activity for the last couple of months.
Yay!
So brilliant.
So if you do
a certain place with our guest that's on the side, told Cliff we were supposed to be doing a church and we haven't done it yet.
Oh, you and Cliff? Oh wow!
Do it. Yeah, you don't live too far away. And
Terry says I should be. Oh, where are you going, Terry?
I've worked with Cliff and his group before, so.
I absolutely. I think Cliff's brilliant. See the information he pulls for me like that, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Everybody stay safe when you're out investigating on the weekend. Make sure that you're wrapped up because the weather's turning.
Don't bother us.
Yeah, it's a wee bit chilly today, but Scottish summer, so I'm all right. I'm just
that's true.
I'm all right.
Terry's going to the Milton Keynes Arts Centre. Oh, you need to tell me how you get on, Terry. It's something different. The castles and Thanks.
I need to go back to Creswell Crags as well, because that's one of his best ever captures. Don't know if you've ever seen it on my page, but if you look at that Creswell Crags, that was immense. A little caveman. Fantastic. So
I'll actually need to see. I'll need to see that one.
yeah, it's halfway down my page now. So I've done that many. I need to do other things. I'm getting known for churches.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with investigating a church.
They didn't,
It's-
but it tends to be just a nice little video because there's not a lot goes off. That's the problem. And once it's an abandoned church like St Mary's Lead and St Bottles, a usable church is usually quite idyllic and quiet.
Well, aye. Well, Cliff says when it gets cold, we Yorkshiremen put on the extra stringy vest on.
Yes.
See, when you say that, Cliff, I think you're Aberdeen Nesbit.
Yep. Yep. And I'm getting to comb over and all.
Oh,
But it's still good.
Yeah, Father Brian. Yeah.
Father Bye.
I'll get you a dog collar.
I'll be changing. Terry says spending Xmas in a hotel that was a manor house turned into a hospital in World War One. That actually sounds amazing, Terry. It's not long to Christmas now, actually, when you think about it.
No, I don't like it.
32 days, isn't it?
Call me Grinch, bar humbug. I don't like Christmas. I've got to admit, I don't like it. I'm not a Christmas person at all. And it's born from every single Christmas for years. I've always ended up on my own. Even when I've been in a relationship, I've ended up splitting up at bloody Christmas. So I don't like it. All right.
Oh, my honey. Oh, my honey. Well, use this time to see if there's any women who want to date Bri. Please get in contact.
They just keep running away. I can't catch them.
You need to get that fishing net out.
I need some of it. I need some dynamite to blow the bloody legs off.
Do you know? Do you know what? That sounds a bit like the film Misery.
Or Boxing Helena. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that was.
Cliff says humbug. Terry says split up before save your money. So you're saving money. Sarah Louise says most of my relatives have passed away around Christmas. I'm so sorry to hear that, Sarah Louise. You tugs.
It's not good.
But no, I mean, the older I'm getting, I'm not really bothered about Christmas. See, as long as my boy is happy and the kids are happy, I'm alright.
I am miserable. Even Santa gets to come once a year.
He's a lucky bastard, Tim. Nettie says, I've missed it, home late from work and bloody shopping. Don't worry about it, Nettie, we'll catch up. Just watch it back, honey. You're not old, Lois. Do you know what, Sarah Louise? I feel like I'm an old person trapped in a young person's body. And I'm only 35.
I am the other way around, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like 5 years away from 40 and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. In my head, I'm still 25, but the body doesn't agree with me.
Well, you're only the woman you feel.
Does anybody watch darts?
My wife's older.
I would have put you down as a younger model guy.
Me? Nah,
Does
my
anybody
wife is
watch
older.
darts? Does anybody watch darts?
I love darts.
Apparently,
I was going to comment then, but I bit my tongue.
I'll bite it for you.
I look like the Scottish geezer, Anderson, apparently.
Oh, Gary Anderson.
Apparently, I look like him.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a toy boy. Sorry, I'm a toy girl as well. Stephen's older than me.
I'm just a bloody daddy.
No, that just means he's your sugar daddy.
Listen, my next one will be much older than me.
My next one. So she's already bloody planning.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Do you know what it is? It's because I'm making a move in Ian. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, trust me. My body might be old, but I'll still run like a 25-year-old if that happens.
Well, screw you. Next is Xmas. I'm doing a live. Let's get pissed with Nettie, and pissed I will be. I'll need to watch that. I'll need to tune in. Eric says my wife's older too, Ian, so you're not the only one. The older the better the food. What is it they say? The older the better the fiddle.
Tighter the sweater.
An old fiddle. That's the one.
That's it. Oh my God! How did we get down this rabbit hole?
It's you. You and your dirty.
Yeah, you and your mind.
Sometimes you just don't want to be in my mind. Seriously.
But sometimes we end up in it, not on purpose.
You shouldn't be walking through rooms. But yeah, guys, we'll leave it here because Ian will need to go and get his good wife. But thank you very much for everybody that's tuned in who supports us every week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to my boys above. Nicholas is on holiday. So he's having a break, which I'm quite glad of, because he needs it. But definitely, thank you very much and good night, guys, and have a good weekend. You can play a good tune in an old fiddle. You better believe it, Annette. Right, we're going to leave it here before this conversation turns. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.